Meanwhile, Frollo seduces / molests Tina a little bit more, and we're given these delightful scenes.
But now the lady sings a different tune. She is actually compliant, willing, and oh so eager to pursue the relationship. At last, Frollo mused with a wicked grin, I have her exactly where I want her. That tough spirit at last is broken. Frollo looked at her with an almost amorous hunger. I'm clearly not his type, but then he is the kind of man who wants his women challenging, but demure and docile at the same time. Well, if he wants me to act like his baby doll, I think I can oblige him.
Tina pauses to gratuitously describe her outfit.
Tina made sure she wore that black mini-skirted suit that fit a little too tight and the purple shell that revealed just a hint of cleavage. She seldom wore heels higher than 1 inch for business, but this time she got out the towering 3-inch slingbacks. And she played up the makeup and hair to make her appear more glamorous, sexier. In a way, Tina liked dressing up like this, but only for a special man. Too bad Frollo wasn't that special man. But the sexy attire served its purpose as Claude Frollo could not, on this day, keep his mind focused on business.
And then we get a little bit of this.
Brisk Frollo smiled broadly, knowing that at least one woman will eventually give herself to him before the week was out. If he played it just right, Tina would be literally begging for a Frollo bump.
Excuse me. Alright, I'm back. A Frollo romp? Really? Is that what they're calling it these days? You know, this goes on beyond canon defilement. This is just brain defilement. Frollo is uptight and seriously repressed. He is not, nor has he ever been, a ladies' man. This author seems to think that he's a love machine and he knows it, but come on, this is the guy who thinks that anything, even remotely attractive, is witchcraft and should be burned to death immediately. At what point in this film, or in any other adaptation of The Hunchback of Notre Dame, is Frollo surrounded by beautiful women who all want to get into his pants? Anyway, Tina tells Frollo that they're installing some sort of special torture device in the jail for him, and we're treated to some of this.
When Claude Frollo heard those words, he sprang to his feet, eyes twinkling merrily, the smile even sexier and brighter. He went to Tina, grabbed her upright, then wrapped his arms around her tightly. In an instant, he kissed her fervently. Tina, totally taken by surprise, tried not to let her disgust show, but disgust? No wonder he is this fanatical female fan following. He must have that effect on them. He is kind of sexy. Or, disgust? I know I shouldn't feel this way, but when he released her, she looked at him, then, without thinking, embraced him once more and returned the kiss. Okay, so I lied. I do think he's charming and sexy, but, oh my god. I'm falling for Frollo. Must be strong. Must not let him get his way.
That's right. Our heroine, our protagonist, the one we're supposed to root for, the pillar of strength and virtue, is falling in love with a creepy old man who's been molesting her.
She then got up, did a sexy little song and dance that set the judge's heart and blood pumping. Whatever Frollo wants, she sang, sexily weaving her body. Frollo gets. Claude Frollo, in a daze, said nothing, stood back, enjoying Tina's teasingly seductive performance. He had a hard time not putting hands on her. She was the beautiful and desirable Tina, still singing and dancing for a man she hated and loved all the same, just thought of a delicious outcome. She was falling for Claude Frollo.
Oh, not again! Ugh. When did I eat spaghetti? You know, Tina's just a Mary Sue. She's not even a character. She's just Mary Sue all over. I mean, he had a hard time not putting hands on her. She was that beautiful and desirable. That just screams Mary Sue. Painfully beautiful, painfully stupid, and completely devoid of having a personality. Anyway, Tina's fallen in love with Frollo, so she describes it some more, because those other descriptions just weren't enough.
Risk it was that crazy spontaneous Chris that did it. Tina wanted to deny it, but she couldn't resist those forbidden feelings. She was falling for one of Disney's worst villains. What if Frollo is playing her? What if all this passion and romance is just a ruse to sway her to his wishes? He is a master of deception, cunningly pouring on a charm to get his way. He doesn't care for anyone but himself. Most repressive, hypocritical, overly authoritarian men are extremely stuck on themselves, and they have little sympathy for those they walk all over.
Lucky for us, Tina decided that she wasn't really in love with Frollo. Phew! Meanwhile, Quasimodo and the kids go to Gaston and LeFou's house with some sort of plan to scare them away. They have like a holograph machine or something, but it's useless because they forgot batteries. Luckily, the mystery hero is there, so they don't need it. Gaston hears a noise and sends LeFou to investigate it. LeFou sees the mystery hero, thinks he's a monster, and runs away.
LeFou was no fool as he scrambled to his feet and hightailed it back to the house. Yep, it's still out there in the backyard, still stamped and snarling.
Oh yes, because LeFou means the fool in French. It's a pun, and it's funny. And watch your verb tenses in that second sentence there. LeFou hightailed it back into the house because the monster was still in the backyard. And the monster got stamped at some point. I guess that'd make me snarl too. The mystery hero bursts in with this line.
You were expecting Rocky or Screwy Squirrel.
And then leaves. Gaston and LeFou run to Frollo and tell him that a monster attacked them, prompting him to send them back to the void with the magic device. He just doesn't think that maybe some Disney heroes have come by to save the day? No, he is too busy ruining Founder's Day and trying to bone Tina. The heroes head back to Tina's place to plan a little bit more. They've managed to get 4 of these villains sent back to the void, but they still have 2 more to deal with. And this doesn't require action. It requires planning. The heroes decide that they're just going to stick with their original plan. So that scene was pointless. And Belle and her dad build a trap in the jail for Frollo and Cruella. They're worried that Frollo will suspect something, because
he's hiding something fishy around here, and it ain't last week's Blue Plate special at Carl's.
Fucking bastards! How dare they insult Carl! How dare they! Anyway, Belle and her dad finish building the trap in the jail, and Tina takes Frollo to it. She tells him it's some sort of state-of-the-art torture device, and we get some of this.
Frollo caught her in his arms, then kissed her fondly down the mouth. Releasing her, he said, Tina, my love, you have made my day. Why, this is all so wonderfully constructed. I don't believe I've seen such fantastic instruments of pain. Judge Claude Frollo literally salivated over the new torture chamber and begged for a demonstration. Perhaps it was the euphoria of the moment, a quite proud Tina showing off to a very ecstatic Claude Frollo all the gadgets of pain. There was one at Claude Frollo's side. He wanted a demonstration, and Tina was all too obliging. The judge, in the restraints of harness and chains, bounced through the air, his robe flying with every swing, exposing his thin, purple hose-clad legs. His usually neat gray hair flew wildly about his head. One shoe came off.
All the gadget of pain is now my new favorite sentence. So I think the trap is like a harness attached to a bunch of pulleys or something. Tina tricks Frollo into putting the harness on, then she pushes some buttons, which makes him fly around the room.